All right. Good evening, participants on this meeting. I hope that more people will join so that we can have a fruitful meeting. All right. So we're going to start this meeting off with our national prayer, after which we go into brief introductions, and then we go straight into the fundraising. So today is the final day of the fundraising. Please don't mind my voice. I have a little cold, so I will have some worse voice. Right, so we're going to share the national prayer, the first and second stanza of our national anthem. Then we'll start. I'll just share it now. All right. Thank you very much. I think Zari has been trying to connect. I hope he will be able to do that because he's supposed to give an update. So I'll just send him a little message and tell him that we are waiting for him to join. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, those on Zoom and those on other social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So we are currently live on YouTube, Njenje Media TV. And from what I can check, we have more than, let's say, let me count it. Let me just count how many viewers that we have. All right, it's still loading. All right, so Yusuf Zari has been with us on this program, and we hope that he will be able to join us for this. All right. Okay, so we have about 11 viewers on YouTube, and it's growing. Hopefully, more will join us. All right, so today's meeting is the last of the 6-day series where we are raising funds for Eha-Amufu in Enugu State, victims of killings that have gone on for far too long. And, their Christmas was a black Christmas, while the rest of us were with our families celebrating. Some of them were destitute, they were along the road, some did not have where they could call shelter. Same thing for Southern Kaduna. So we decided to, be able to raise funds for these persons. So Zari has not come. Maybe he's having some issues. So, but I'll go ahead and share some of the videos or some of the pictures of the aftermath of the killings and the destruction of property in Southern Kaduna. So I'll just share my screen now. So if you all can see my screen, so I'll just start sharing it. So these are burnt houses. Another one. Another one. So these pictures were taken by Yusuf Zari, who was supposed to come online and give us some briefing on the assessment that he got from the Southern Kaduna. So these are the aftermaths of the destruction that went on in Eha-Amufu. Sorry, in Southern Kaduna. Another one. Another one. These are homes of people. Another picture. It should be a community meeting. Another one. All right. So when Zaria comes, you should be able to add more context to this. All right. Hopefully you'll be able to join us. Lado from Up North, I give you special greetings. You can unmute yourself and
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. And it's nice to be here. So sorry we couldn't attend yesterday. I don't know if you can hear me, Dr. Edoga.
yes, we can hear
Am
you.
I audible?
You are very much audible, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Yesterday we couldn't make it to the meeting. So sorry pertaining that. We're not
We
really
actually did
having
not
so many
hold
engagement.
a meeting yesterday because of some challenges. So
Wow.
today it will be a combination of day 5 and day 6. Yeah.
All right. I just want to appreciate each and every person for making out time, to attend this. There's a saying that a friend in need is a friend indeed, right?
Yes, that,
We have people that spend Christmas morning, and then, as you said earlier, we're with our family and we enjoy the Christmas, we enjoy the holidays, we enjoy the festive season. But we are supposed to put smiles on other people's faces, that did their Christmas in mourning. So I'm just appealing to each and every individual. Southern Kaduna is there. Then we talked about Kajuru, Kaguru, Kaura. I'm part of Chiku local government. And then Eha-Amufu in Enugu state. Please, whatever we can do to assist these individuals and put smiles on their faces, please let us do that. It is not too late. Today is the last day. Please, whatever we raise, I know if we can raise 1 million for each of these communities, it will go a long way to provide food, to provide, mattresses, so many things, medical supplies, and whatever that these people will need. I believe it will go a long way. So please let us spread the news everywhere. Let us do the right thing as we did. We are now a family bonded by love. Thank you very much.
all right. Thank you so much, Lado from Up North. Dr. Shegu Ebitomi, the Global Coordinator, Doctors for P2B. Do you want to make any comments, sir?
I just want to enjoy everybody to support this initiative to bring succor to these displaced families. We can sense that the obedient passion is waning. We see it everywhere. But let's not base this project on the obedient passion. Let's look at the humanitarian crisis rather than the political opportunity. So as many people as can help, you see this as a call to help, not as an opportunity to promote the movement. We hope we will get more today. Personally, I've been disappointed at the level of support so far. We expected a lot, even join the meeting, it's been difficult for most people. I think we should do more. We should really be our brother's keeper. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Whatever we raise, we are going to deploy it. Whether we raise hundreds of thousands or millions, we are going to deploy it and then move on to other aspects of our campaign for His Excellency P2B. All right. So the floor is open. We can make donations from whichever platform that you are watching from. So I'm going to share the account details on the screen so that it will be easy for anyone to donate. So this account is an Access Bank account. The account name is Synapses Medical Networks. I hope we can see it in the video. I hope it's clear enough. It has a Naira account, it has dollar accounts, it also has a pound sterling account. So whichever one you prefer, is you go ahead and make your donation. And then you can send the evidence of payment to myself at EdogaMD as my Twitter handle, or you can send it to at docs for P2V, DOCS figure 4 and P2V together. So you can send it as a message so that we can acknowledge the donation, and you can also specify where the donation should actually go to. All right. Thank you very much. So I'm going to leave this on. All right. So far we have been able to raise 100,000 naira. Okay, let me say 105,000 naira. So that's the amount we have been able to raise, and we hope to increase it as much as possible. And we will now allocate it to those two communities, even though when some people made donations, they were specific where the donations will go to. Like the person that made the donation of 50,000 naira specifically said that it should go to Eha-Amufu. So we'll look at it and find out how we are going to channel it. So I'm going to be starting off these donations today with 10,000 naira. So for this final day, we already have a donation of 10,000 naira. All right. So Lado, do you want to make any comments? Were you able to get more information? You know, the last time we came, we expected some feedback from the field. Actually, Zari, I discussed with him before this meeting. He was supposed to come and give us an update so that we can have some context. So, but while we wait for him to join, you can go ahead, sir, and give us some idea of maybe people that you have interacted with or people that your group, your team in Up North, you know, have interacted with, because I know that Up North ambassadors are very much active in the 19 northern states plus the Federal Capital Territory. So you can go ahead, sir.
All right. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I may not be able to say much pertaining that. We gave that assignment to our state coordinator in Kaduna State. So I was expecting that he will be in this meeting so that we can have one or two updates for information to Director of Mobilization and Strategy, that is Kingsley. So, but we will wait for that, and I believe that very soon, maybe he might be joining us for update. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you for that. So you can maybe quickly send him a message to join. All right. Thank you very much for that. I hope that Zaria will join us. Okay, so we have two different places that we are doing these interventions in. So from our discussions, we were able to identify some areas in southern Kaduna that we are going to do some form of intervention to the limit of the funds that we have available. So we're able to identify 4 different areas, even though one of them is the most affected. So I'll just try to call it up now because I made some notes. 3 people in Kaura local government area. So this is the major area that was affected. Then we also have Jama, we have Kajuru. Okay, I've mentioned Kajuru. We have Chikun, Lado. Which other community of these 4 that we mentioned? Lado, are you still here?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry. I think the communities we talked about, we talked about Kagoro, right?
Yes, we did.
We talked about part of Chikun local government area of Kaduna State. We talked about Kajuru. So these are some of the communities that I know that have been having this kind of constant attacks for the past 4 weeks. They have been under attack. So these are just some of the places. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that. So so let's share this space that is currently on whichever platform you are working with. You can just share it amongst your networks, family, friends. So what we expect that people just come into the room, introduce themselves, and maybe ask 1 or 2 questions and then go ahead. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, so people can just come into the meeting, maybe ask 1 or 2 questions and then say what they want to give towards this intervention. So far we have 10,000 naira for today. So hopefully we are going to have additions to that. Okay, my system seems to be hanging a bit. Let me see whether I can rectify it. Just a minute. Okay, you can hear me very well now. I think it's better. All right. So I'm going to share a video clip so that we can watch a short video clip. Just a minute. Let me load it. While I try to load the video, I'll just play this song.
In ana son ci gaban Najeriya a zaba Peter Obi.
Fún ìlọsíwájú orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà, dìbò fún Pétérù Òbí.
Maka ọdịmma Naịjirịa, ka anyị tụnyere Peter Obi.
Vote Peter Obi.
Peter Obi.
Record. Are you obedient? Are you obedient? Now my president you be. Me I want better tomorrow. Me no want to load. No. Now the person will be me. If you want better tomorrow, no go vote to load. No.
I am not let's go as you see me so at the front line. No.
At the front line,
But you want mind, no, make we unite, oh, do the right thing.
do the right thing. Situation don't they get a CD. My brother, sister, get your BBC. Make we unite, make we vote you. Now my president.
All right. Zari, thank you for coming online. So we shared some of the pictures which you sent, but we needed a background to them. So I don't know whether I should share them again so that you can run some commentary over it, or you can do that from your end. Which one will you prefer? Zari, can you hear me? Zari? Okay. So I think we are still having challenges with his network. I hope he's able to resolve it because his update is very important so that some persons will know the magnitude and the gravity of what actually happened or what is happening. All right. So like the global coordinator of Dr. Sopetobi said that this is not a political fundraising, so even though primarily Dr. Sopetobi is concentrated on using our union or our association to promote the candidacy of His Excellency Pitobi, or in the view of the overwhelming and humanitarian needs, that was brought on these people as a result of these killings. So we decided to take a little time to see how we can raise funds and help out these people. So it's more of a humanitarian ground than just campaign. But we know that this is what His Excellency P2B represents. And hopefully by the time he becomes president, some of these things can be dealt with, more decisively. All right. So you can also donate clothes. You can donate housing items like roofing sheets. You can decide what and what you want your money to do. So whichever platform you are watching from, so you can easily make your donation. Zari, can you speak now? Zari, can you speak now? Okay, so we are still having challenges, which is network.
Okay, I don't know. Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
Zari, we can hear you.
yeah. Sorry, I've been on and off. I've been on and off because one there's network issues, and then I've got my hands a bit full. So yeah. So I said I was going to put together a report, but then I got home exhausted, and but then I think I shared a few pictures and all that. I have been reaching out to a few people with regards to some other arrangements resulting from my meeting with the royal fathers and all that. And
Your background is a bit noisy.
yes, actually, it's quite noisy. Maybe you give me a little moment to call in later and maybe make a little submission.
Or you can go ahead or step out a bit from.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, so I'm driving actually, and my so that's the idea. I would just hang on in the meeting, and then when it's clearer, I would let you know. I would even if it's drop a chat, and then yeah,
That's fine. All right. Zari needs to answer the call from his family, and we hope that he'll be able to give us the update. All right. There's a video that I was supposed to play, and I want to call it up. So just a minute.
In ana son ci gaban Najeriya a zaba Peter Obi.
fún ìlọsíwájú orílẹ̀-èdè nàìjíríà dìbò fún pétérù òbí.
maka ọdịmma Naijiria ka anyị tụnyere na Peter Obi.
Peter Obi.
Record. Are you obedient? Are you obedient? Now my president you be. Me I want better tomorrow. Me no want to load. No. Now the person wey we need. If you want better tomorrow, no go vote to load. No.
I am at let's go as you see me so at the front line, no. But you want mine, no, make we unite, oh, do the right thing, no.
Situation don't they get a CB. My brother, sister, get your BBC. Make we unite, make we vote you be. Now my president, you be. Me, I want better tomorrow. Me no want to load, no. Not the person will be. Want better tomorrow. No go to load, no. If you know want to be, it means say you know want to be.
Me, I go what you be.
Okay, so we are going to watch a little bit of this video clip. Let me just share my screen now.
Sokon communities of Kagaro, Chiefdam, and Kara local government area of Kaduna State. The council chairman, Honorable Matthew Simon, who confirmed the incident, said he could only confirm 7 people gruesomely killed in Sogwan community. The attack is coming barely 5 days after an attack was launched in Malam Gum, 1 killing 3 persons. According to him, all the houses in Sogwan community had completely razed down. The tourist starting that is yet to confirm the killings in Malagam 1. Matthews urged residents in the area to remain calm as security agencies were being deployed to carry out investigation in the area. Well, joining us to discuss on the attacks is Reverend Joseph Hayab, is the chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria. We go on a short break. When we get back, the news continues. Well, we're still on the news, and joining us to discuss tonight on the Kaduna State attack is Reverend Joseph Hayab, is the Kaduna State Chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, and Jonathan Ashake is the Chairman and former President, Southern Kaduna People's Union. It's so good to have you join us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
All right, I'm going to start with you, Jonathan. What's the atmosphere like in Kaduna after the unfortunate incident?
Well, it's very tense. Following the attacks that took place last week, precisely on Tuesday and Wednesday, and the one that took place early morning hours of today, okay. The attackers are still looking around the hills, and they have threatened to come back. And the villagers have been, I just came from there this evening. The villagers have been packing their things and relocating to neighboring villages. And so the atmosphere is still very tense.
So back to you, Reverend Hayab. Don't you think it's about time we enforce community policing in the country where people take charge of their security themselves? We've had the government trying to come out to condemn these attacks, of course, and we still have a repeat of this situation. Don't you think it's about time for people to take control of their own security, especially the northern part of the country?
Unfortunately, the leaders or the political leaders or those in power have actually been paying lip service to issue of people protecting themselves. Especially in Southern Kaduna, we know very well that sometimes when they come, they just go to villages, ransack houses, pick even then guns, daggers, and few things that people are keeping to chase away enemies like these criminals. And then they will now parade them out there and say they have gotten gun runners. And so how can people protect themselves if government is paying lip service to sincerity about securing them? These people have everything or are willing to protect themselves, have done a lot to protect themselves. But many of them end up landing in jail, in police cell for months and sometimes for almost a year, being accused for a crime they never commit. Just their crime is that they want to protect themselves, they want to defend their territory, they want to ensure that they protect their land, they want to ensure that nothing bad happens to them. So I'm really sad, I'm disappointed. I was in Southern Kaduna this morning. I felt really bad because why on earth can we continue like this? And we have a government put in place, we have security agencies. Virtually when you drive around the roads, you see many of them, and you ask yourself, is it just to patrol and collect offering, not really about protecting and securing the people? What kind of a government do we have? What kind of leaders do we have? So it is time for people to protect themselves. People have always been willing to protect themselves, but will government really allow them to protect themselves? When they come out, they will just come with some kind of funny charges on them, lock them up. That year, if you are young, the only son of your father, you will not farm all the year, you will be in jail because probably they caught you with daggers. I know cases of young men who came out and pursue killers like this, only to be coming back and find security men have arrived and they arrest them to be the killers. Well, the killers have gone and hidden. So what do you expect the people to do?
All right, so back to you, Mr. Jonathan. Do you think this is a kind of a form of strategy to scare the people from exercising their rights ahead of the 2023 elections?
Yeah, I've said so already.
Okay.
If you look at what is if what is happening carefully, you will see that in the southern part of Kaduna State, during the Christmas season and the New Year, that is the time that everybody goes home. Families go home from the cities and they converge to celebrate the Christmas and the New Year. And that's when they celebrate cultural festivals. And so it is very timely. And then we are moving towards the general elections that comes up in February. And so we have had this experience where we are beginning to think that the elections in Kaduna State may be isolated. I mean, areas that, you know, that are for where elections may not be won by a particular political party. It's likely that the elections will be lifted and isolated and conducted another time. So local governments that are not favorable to a particular political party may be isolated. That is what we're suspecting.
Back to you, Reverend Ayab. What do you think is taking the government really this long to put an end to this situation, especially in the northern parts of the country? What do you think is taking them long? And even previous acts have actually been swept under the carpet. The governor has actually come out to give out relief materials to the victims. But is this the end to the situation?
I'm not sure that is what the people want. The people want security. The people want protection. The people want to feel the impact of government. And the best the government can give them is just secure them. If the government secure them, they will go to their family. If the government secure them, they will do their legitimate business, earn a living, and send their children to school. Unfortunately, government have not been able to do that because in the beginning, government came with pretext. The fact about it that government in Kaduna State took a very dangerous step by beginning to even aid and shield those who were killing our citizens, by actually coming out to speak in favor of those who were killing and destroying our citizens. The government of Kaduna State were not honest, was not honest with the citizens in speaking and condemning the attack, in even coming out to go after the criminals. The fact that criminals in Kaduna State seem to have had a field day, they were having a field day, and the government now turned and was attacking stakeholders who were calling for security, who were calling for protection, who were calling to the end of this evil and barbaric act that was going on. Government was taking all her energy and resources, attacking them, calling them names instead of going after criminals. Criminals that are supposed to be on the run were actually just watching how government is even fighting for them.
Okay, so we have watched that video clip. I'm going to stop the sharing. All right, so we have watched that video clip. We have had, you know, some other context because what is happening in these two areas may not just be, even though they have actually been happening, they have predated the election season, but they may actually have some connotation, or they will have some impacts on the outcome of the elections in those areas. All right. We seem to have someone joining online who may want to do some bombing. So I'm going to send the person to the waiting room. Right. Okay. So we have some people that are joining this meeting from Twitter because I just shared the link and I don't know who they are. So I'll just send a message to them. Properly identify yourself. Properly identify yourself. Name and state. All right. So once sorry, please, the co-hosts, allow me to be admitting people because there seems to be Zoom bombers, all right, that want to bomb this meeting and display some things that we may not want in this meeting. So we're going to go ahead. Zari Yusuf, are you free to join? Are you free now? Okay, you're not. All right. So okay.
Yeah. Hello, doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I would say sorry I've been in and out and all of that. It's just a crazy evening. But then I think let me just, if I would briefly make a submission. I listened to that interview. I just listened to it now, and of course, it's not all about winning or losing an election, as you know, the case would have been. Okay, people are going to lose their PVCs and all of that. As far as that region is concerned, it's less about whether anybody wins an election or not. It's about overrunning communities. It's about subjugating people, and that's the reason why no matter how bad it gets, it would always be it will always be referred to as a communal clash. If it would interest you to know, there are no Rugas in that area. It's not as if historically there is a settlement for the Fulani people. Now, the situation is so bad such that when you look at the vastness of that area, you wonder how many people came and how long it took them to devastate the area like that. There were so many of them, all of them. I interacted with the people and I got a whole lot of perspective to it. So the primary concern in that area is we have, other than the humanitarian, other than food, other than clothing, houses have been raised down. When I mean raised down, the whole community, except for a few houses, which possibly I just felt they didn't just want to waste their time breaking through their burglary proofs or the high fences and all of that. But then, much as they could access any house, they raised it down and killed whoever they found. So there is a whole lot of work that needs to be done when it comes to building and all of that. And like I said, it's not exactly as if the state government is reaching out in any way. Whatever they do is more or less a mockery, because what you should do when a group of terrorists attack an area, you should to a large extent rebuild that area or secure them. But nobody is speaking about who attacked. Nobody is speaking about where they hid, even though they are well known. But everybody is just trying to make sure they squeeze the narrative and refer to it as a community clash. They would rather pump money. They would rather deceive people. They would rather spread propaganda and all of that. So a lot of times, just the people in the local area keep saying these are terrorists. These are people trying to invade us and all of that. But then, if we would have people from other parts of the country who understand the situation, putting their voice in it, it will go a long way. I remember it was Professor Odinkalu, that Chima Odinkalu, I think it's Chima Odinkalu, Chidi, yes, who when El-Rufai, when they went to Kajuru and killed people, and El-Rufai woke up in the morning wanting to suppress the news and went around saying they killed 60 Fulani people when they were nowhere to be found. When Professor Chima spoke, Chidi, sorry, when he spoke, it kind of opened the eyes of people. Now, the simple reason is because it's him. He is not actually from the community, let alone someone says he's being biased. But if somebody like Asak, the gubernatorial candidate, speaks when he was the Sukapu president or the Khan chairman or anybody from that area, it's assumed it's because we don't like the man or because he picked a Muslim ticket. Of course, the picking of his Muslim ticket was another way of making sure that as far as the strategic position of politics, appointments, and all of that are concerned, there is no Christian to debunk or to give a true picture of the evil that is happening. So it's more of a free killing spree. He has come into power, and then his kinsmen are just killing people. And he is the governor, the deputy is a Muslim, the speaker is a Muslim, the deputy speaker is a Muslim, almost every commissioner is a Muslim, except for the dump mouthpiece he has that he chose a Christian to kind of do. Well, basically, that one just reads out his mind to people so that he can go to the media and say it is a Christian from that area that is even holding this position. And we know it's all lies, you know. So it's just so pathetic. I sincerely wish some massive support would come, since the details of those families, we may not rebuild their homes, but to a large extent, we should be able to kickstart something for them so they have some hope and begin to go back. You have a lot of widows crying because their husbands finished the places and died, and then, I mean, they don't have anywhere else to look, to go to and all of that. Let alone those breadwinners that went home for Christmas holiday and ended up losing their lives there. So it's a bit, heart touching and pathetic. But I just hope we get to rally more support. I'm still talking to people, trying to see what we could do about it, and then not just reaching out in terms of material support, but taking certain appropriate measures to make sure that some people are held accountable for, all of this terrorist, all of this Islamist, agenda being perpetrated against the peace-loving people of Southern Kaduna.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, so I shared some of the pictures that you sent to me. So maybe I'll share it again so that you can provide us some context for the pictures. So I'll just share it again. Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay. So this is one of the buildings.
Yeah. So I tried as much as possible to capture, much of the destruction. An example is like this particular one. They took their time, they set it ablaze, and sometimes they just don't set it on fire. They take their time to, dismantle a structure. You get the idea. They make sure the idea is not just let's damage this thing and go away. The idea is to cripple the people. So they have taken their time to do so. I was at the village head's house, and I noticed how they struggled to gain entrance. Of course, he managed to escape, and then they wanted to gain entrance into a part of the house, broke the windows, but the burglary proof there wouldn't let them get in. So the other parts of the house that they could easily access, yes. So this would be the house of the village head. And once they tried accessing through the door and through this very window, it didn't work. So that this very building, they couldn't particularly enter this one. But there were buildings just, surrounding around the house where they went in and they demolished a whole lot of things. Yeah, so, yep. So they took their time and did all of that evil. If they found anybody, they killed him. And then, of course, I went around with certain people who narrated very, very gruesome, painful experiences. Yes, so you could see all of this and some of the shells that people picked. In the picture, the man with the white beard is Professor Gideon Paramalam of the Paramalam Peace Foundation. Coincidentally, he was also in the community on this particular day that I interacted with people, so as to also deliver, relief materials. So we got talking, and then I left them at the palace of the monarch, and I came to engage with the people, and they met me there. And from there, we went around, interviewed a few people before we parted. Yeah.
Okay. These are more pictures.
Yeah. So I tried to have a coverage of, as widely dispersed as the places are. So this basically, it is an average of the kind of damage that the entire community suffered, basically. So, and I met a woman who said they came in comfortably. Also, her own son ran away, but she was old. So when they came in, I think they argued amongst themselves and they pushed her out. And while she was so basically, she said she could hear how they didn't just kill people, but they used equipment, machetes, and all that to make sure, they pulled down houses, roofings, and all of that. They didn't want to leave the houses in a way that people could easily come back inside. So what they just left there are ruins and all of that. And of course, it's not the first place they are doing so. On the plateau, you will have communities that have been completely overtaken by these people. Some with even names altered and all of that. So basically, that's what we are facing. Yeah. So there's a picture of me, and there's Reverend Father Magaji, and then the man with the red cap is a village head. The man with the green is also a village head, and then the man second, second from the right is the reverend of one of the Equa churches that they attacked. I don't know if I sent you a picture of a church, but there's a church they went, tried to burn it down, and because they couldn't start the fire due to the distance of the roofing with so there's a church, there's an Equa church. They set a fire inside. I should have, maybe if I had sent I don't know, maybe I didn't include that picture in the ones I sent you. It didn't get to burn the church much as they wanted, but because of the height of the roof, they came out. There was a car outside. They set it on fire. So those ones managed to escape, and then there's the Reverend Father of the Catholic Church there, and then there's a man who's a traditional. He's a traditional title holder. We call him the Sarkin Ariwang Kagoro. He's an honorable. Yes, so that would be the man in Agbada with white, Sarkin Ariwang Kagoro. Isaac Bodam, Honorable Isaac Bodam. So he's basically the person in charge of collecting relief materials. And then the Reverend Father is the man in charge of coordinating the internally displaced persons. So the rest of the people are community leaders, the one in blue, and then the one in black suit, and the one in black t-shirts are youth leaders. That's the Kaura Development Association leaders. They were there, and that would be the day we kind of delivered the goods. Now, it's instructive to know that this place you see where the goods were kept is a primary school. The local government chairman approved it to be a refugee camp. Unfortunately, I've been trying to find out whether there is an international or local law that says unless a refugee camp is fenced before security is provided. So the security men, I noticed it's a tradition, said they will not give any security provision for the refugees in that location because the school is not fenced. So they won't go there to protect anybody. So basically, the refugees, you can't gather them. Frankly, the people are traumatized. So because the place is not fenced, they said anybody that goes there is on his own. So they have dispersed and they're in people's houses. And frankly, again, gathering them at a location, people will have to be very sure it's not some kind of a setup. So, and that's the reason why they just take their time to know the right time to gather them. Or if you give them a hint ahead of time, days earlier, it's easy. So I went there with the impression that they were sitting there until they opened up to me and told me the security people said the place was not fenced. So they will not give them armed guards. They will not even give them any guard. So since the people are not sure, everybody either live with relatives and all of that. They just hang around, and then when it's afternoon, evening, everybody finds some place to sleep and all of that.
All right. Just two more, please. Okay. So you are the one in the middle.
Yeah, with the black jacket and the backpack.
Okay.
Yes.
Possibly when they were loading it to deliver.
Yeah. So no. So so this was when we were offloading. We were actually offloading from the car that helped us move the things to the camp. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, so you had earlier sent me a comprehensive report. Can you maybe do a summary without necessarily exposing the names of the people involved?
Okay. How do you mean?
The estimates or the exact numbers of houses damaged, motorcycles, and all those.
Okay, that have been damaged. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's quite massive. I may not actually have that up head. Have the details of the data up head. Yeah.
You sent me a message. Maybe you can just go ahead and check the last.
No, yeah, I did. I know I did that. What I'm saying is maybe up head. I may not be able to capture all of that in details. But yeah, I know I did send you a document in that regard. Of course, there were the deaths are actually 40, and of course the community is wide. So there some communities will tell you the exact number of people that died there, and some communities will tell you the houses and all of that. So what the head of the IDPs did was to make sure everything was comprehensively captured, the nature of the houses and all of that. So it's just massive, and we have about four people, 4 or 5 people receiving treatment and
Yeah, it's
then
actually fine. Yeah.
yeah. So I think almost more than 100, almost 200 houses, raised down, and then of course motorcycles. I met with some of the people who told me even items were taken out of the house. There's a village head particularly that has cows, and then those two were taken out and all of that. But then I would just hope to
104
yeah,
houses.
yeah,
That was what
yeah,
you said.
yeah. So it's completely it's just so the damage is quite massive. I actually went around to look at the places, and then of course, thank God, because it's something that happens over and over. Uh, they made sure they had a comprehensive documentation of every house and the specification. About 174 actually. Yes, with more than 4,000 displaced persons. So those are the things. You've got generators gone. You've got chairs, bicycles, motorcycle, cars. Other things that were burnt and all of that. So I I'm also trying to wrap my head around the whole thing, because I while I was living, I saw the need to really commit to more efforts to try to have the whole situation arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, for that update. It's so heartbreaking and heart wrenching. What has happened to these people, but I believe that with the support we are getting and with support from other groups and what the government will do, even though the response from the government has been very poor, and some people believe that they may also have other things underlining, but not going into the details of that. I think lawyers for P2B and other legal groups can also take up this matter. And hopefully in the next couple of days, the elections will come. And I hope that these people will be able to exercise their franchise, even though many of them may not be able to do that, because some of them ran away from their houses unprepared. And the first thing now is to survive, first of all, and then you start talking about living your life and voting in any election. So it's time for us to
Hello. Looks like Chima has dropped out. This is Dr. Sheikman Piton. Dr. Ahmad, can you hear me?
All right, Dr. Victor, I think I can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you, Lado.
Yes.
All
Yes,
right. As we wait for Chima, Kingsley from up north is here too. Kingsley, we are working on a fundraising in another corner. I don't know if Chigozie has mentioned it to you, for the North and for some of these things. So Dr. Sopita will be just as an information, is working with Up North, in ODA and POSN to do a fundraising to go to this area. It's a parallel project, and hopefully we'll get some traction there too. So I will enjoy everybody, wherever we are, in whatever group we are, to know that these areas are very important. Who is?
Hey, can you hear me now?
Okay, welcome back, Chima.
Okay, we have some persons who want to bomb our Zoom meeting, so we have to be careful. The people we let names that don't sound like. Okay, so I'm going to share the video clip now. I had a little network challenge.
Jake, stop eating what you are eating. It's not feeling again.
Government will say, we went fighting to them, but for the mere fact that government made the mistake of turning against us citizens, accusing people who just cry out because of what they are seeing, who just cry out because of the pain that is going on in their community. So the criminals feel, oh, this government will be siding us and continue to advance, and they have advanced and gathered strength. They have completely taken over so many places, and now it's even difficult for the government to come. So if the government comes out now and even condemn them, they will just laugh at government, because the time government is supposed to go after them, government will not go after them and allow them to grow wings and become very strong. Government was dealing with them with some kind of kid gloves or rhetoric that could not even kill a fly. Now they have become strong. Now they have mastered the terrain, and they are gotten more up. So if you even speak against them, you get a lot of government instead of government going after them. I felt government didn't do that too. Another thing government didn't do right is because she never engaged stakeholders in finding solutions. She came with, I know everything, I can do everything. Unfortunately, security is not about you know everything. Security is everybody's business. Security is all inclusive. You don't fight security by just talking on the media, by shouting on people. You fight security by what? Addressing what are the issues, reaching out and let people visibly experience the presence of government in their midst. But that is not what is happening in South Africa. So the people of South Africa are really sad, because the way and manner government is treating us do not show that we belong. And it is also not in South Africa alone, but going to many other parts of northern Nigeria. When Boko Haram started, many northern elders came out, were even attacking the then leadership of Nigeria as if it were the leadership versus them, not knowing that these people were terribly criminals that would cause pains to everybody. Boko Haram grew wing and continued to attack every part until they moved and started attacking Abuja. Now it became an everybody's problem. That is the kind of situation, and that's the way our government have always treated insecurity. Instead of going after criminals and showing them that we have a government that has taken oath that she would defend and protect citizens, government seems to be playing game with the matter until it is out of hand.
Well, finally, before I let you both go, I need to ask, what advice do you have for people living in these communities on self-protection? Really, I won't have to wait until I'm being attacked in my home. I will also ask the same question to Mr. Jonathan. But Reverend Ayab, let's see what he what you have to say.
I always tell the people not to run, not to give in, and stand up and defend their territory. Whatever may be the reason that these criminals, these terrorists are terrorizing the people, they should know that there are people in that community. But having said that, there's a caveat. When you know the kind of sophisticated weapon that these people come with, whatever form of courage you have, when they open fire and you begin to hear the sound, not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, you may not be able to stand them. And that's where government will still come back to government and say, where is our government?
Thank you very much. Joseph Ayab is the chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria, and unfortunately we lost the former president, Southern Kaduna People's Union, Jonathan Ashake. It's so good to have you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Thank you too for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, so I'm going to stop the share now. Okay. All right, so we need to make donations. All right, before we go that, I would like to invite Kingsley to make one or two comments. Kingsley, go ahead, sir.
All right, good evening, Dr. Edoga. Good evening, Dr. Shegun. Good evening, everybody on this space. Good evening, my assistant national coordinator, Comrade Lado. Sorry for joining in late. I think I joined in earlier when it started. Then before I know, my phone just went off before I could even say a word. So I'm back now. And for the people that have been listening across YouTube and Twitter, as we have been saying since the very inception of these meetings that we've been having, the truth is we need these funds, not just because of, as I said day before yesterday, not just for electoral reasons, not just because we want to campaign and all of that, but people are going through a whole lot. Southern Kaduna is a mess right now. The way you celebrated Christmas and had so much chicken to eat that you had to throw some away, Southern Kaduna had so much corpse that there was no space to bury again. So it was just like that. It is like that throughout this festive period across, I think, 4 local governments in Southern Kaduna that we have identified so far. So things are not actually easy for these people, and it's the same thing that is happening in Enugu, in sorry, I keep forgetting the name. Sorry, I'm a northerner. Eha-Amufu, Eha-Amufu. So people have really lost their lives in these places. So if we can actually reach out to them at this point, at least give these people hope of what is to come. Let them understand what is coming for them, so they will know that there is light definitely at the end of the tunnel, as it's commonly said. And by the special grace of God, the light will come after by May, when His Excellency Peter Obi will be sworn in as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because we know for sure that things will definitely change, because we have seen what these people are capable of. We have seen that he is the only one that can actually take this country to, if I can call it, the promised land, if I am permitted to. So by the special grace of God, we'll get to that promised land next year. So, but for now, we really need to show kindness to the people of Eha-Amufu and Southern Kaduna. Lives have been lost. Lots of lives have been lost. So some of these people, even though it is Panadol that you can take to them at this moment, they would appreciate with all their lives. If it is just 1 cup of rice you can take to these people, they will almost worship yourself. So that is the situation on ground right now. So thank you very, very much for those of you that have joined us from the beginning till today. And we really, really appreciate all our listeners and the audience from the YouTube channel, Twitter, and those that are here. And we also appreciate all our donors, because your effort is what has kept us moving. And we pray that you continue to put in that effort, so that we can also continue to put in our own effort the little way we can. Thank you very much. I yield the mic.
Thank you so much, Kingsley, for that. So we have today is actually the last day of 2022. So this meeting is going to end by 10 so that we'll have like 2 hours to maybe enter into the new year. All right. So a new year that holds so much possibility for this country as a nation and for each and every one of us as individuals. All right. So Dr. Shegu, while we wait for people to make donations, can you shed light on Doctors for P2V, especially with regards to also a ward initiative? So I'm going to share it on the screen
Local
now.
government initiative.
Local government, yeah. So
Okay.
you can see
Doctors
it on
for
the
Peter Obi was, yeah, Doctors for Peter Obi was conceptualized in June 11. And between then and now, we've done over 68 medical outreaches, fully funded by members of the movement. Our savings is what we have used to fund the medical outreach. We reached over 50,000 people so far. In that project, we realized that the single most penetrating community entry tool anybody can use is a medical outreach. Where every other thing fails, a medical outreach can be assured. It can be assured that a medical outreach will penetrate. So we have refocused our medical outreach program to run in the local government. And in addition to delivering the healthcare, to mobilize people for the tickets. So the last 68 medical outreach we did, you just come, we see you, we give you free treatment, free drugs. We talk to you about the campaign, and you just go. We don't focus you on a polling unit and give somebody to monitor you to ensure that you vote for the ticket. But the next set of outreach we'll be doing under the sponsor, the local government medical outreach program, it has inbuilt mechanism to ensure that everybody we see, we identify the polling units to belong. We mobilize some ward and polling unit canvassers to follow up with them, so we can ensure that they vote for the ticket. We plan to run this in at least 300, in at least 27 states and over 600 local governments. There is a sponsorship package that goes with it. It costs about 1.5 million. Half of the cost is for the outreach, half of the cost is for the polling unit mobilization. And each outreach can see 1,000 people, but it can also deliver like 500 people in 20 polling units. So like 10,000 people to vote for the ticket in that ward. So it's a very powerful tool, both to make an impact in the lives of people and to drive citizens to choose the ObiDients ticket. We hope everybody will take advantage of this opportunity to contribute their quota We see so many people online, everywhere, saying they're obedient, they want the change, they want the new Nigeria. But this is an opportunity now for people to put their money where their mouth is. As I'm sitting in front of you, I have spent a lot. I have spent millions. So I can tell you that I have put my money where my mouth is. I can see that boldly. And I expect as many people as possible. Just choose your own word. And I'm sure there are millions of people that are obedient. But let's just say 8,000. There are just 8,800 words in this country. It says we will deliver our own word. Just our word. You've won this election. So if you are serious, if you are focused, if you are honest in your obedience, this is a very good opportunity to kill two birds with one stone. You will be treating people who, many of them don't have access to any other kind of medical care. You will also be helping people to make the choice, the political choice that will ensure that after the medical outreach, when the new government comes in, their life will now be permanently better. I think that's the best opportunity anybody can have to make a transformational difference in the lives of his people. And I hope to see a lot of people join that scheme. Thank you. Shima.
All right.
So to join
Thank
this
you.
scheme, the contact address are there. As usual, you can reach me or you can reach Shima. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Who will go first for up north? Is it Lado or Kingsley? So I can quickly talk about up north. While we wait for people to make donations. Dr. Shegu, in case you receive any alerts, do not hesitate to stop and inform us. Thank you. Lado, Kingsley, who will go ahead?
All right.
Yeah.
Much for we really want to appreciate you for this opportunity to have an audience in this meeting. We are up north ambassadors for Peter Obi. We're a support group that has presence in the north, in the 19 northern states, and then the FCC. Okay, my name is Lado Gilamin Senjuma. I'm from Kaduna State, and I'm the Assistant National Coordinator for Up North Ambassadors. Now, what we do is this: as individuals, we started with the mega rally. We started PVC mega rally. We went on to do the door-to-door sensitization for His Excellency Peter Obi and Yusuf Babadet Ahmed. Then we realized there are some things that we needed to do. When we go to communities, which are communities that are not easily accessible, communities that have been affected by this banditry and insurgency and what have you, what we do is this: we go to these communities and we find out what are the specific problems in this community. And when we see these problems, what we try to do is that we try to solve these problems. We did that in Kaduna by identifying an Almajiri school whereby the students were sleeping on bare floors. We renovated that school. We floored the school. We roofed the school. We realized there are leaky roofs. And then we plastered that school in a community called Chinkafi. And then the Islamic cleric there told us vividly that please, we should paint the logo of Labour Party on the walls of that school. These are some of the things that are rare in the north. Now, another thing that we also do is this: When some of the communities, like in that same community, we met a borehole that has been down for 5 years. People don't have water in that community. And then we took charge and we fixed that borehole. And they told us that please, close to that borehole, there is a polling unit there. You should paint the logo of Labour Party there, so that on the day of elections, they will be voting for Labour Party. We did that in Sokoto. We provided a well to a community that has been going through hardship of getting potable drinking water for about 20 years, and we did that. Now in Jos, we provided food items to victims of this Fulani herdsmen at Bariki Ladi. You know, we have done, farm to farm sensitization in Niger State. So what we do is that when we go to communities and we find out that there are specific problems, we try to solve these problems. We have reached out to victims, to flood victims in Jigawa, in Bauchi, we have done so many of such. So we are up north ambassadors, and by the special grace of God, that is what we do to try and sell our candidate, His Excellency Peter Obi. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Initially I was trying to unmute myself and all this technical something. So I think my assistant national coordinator has said everything. My name is Joseph Kingsley. I am from Nasarawa State. I am the director of mobilization strategy and planning for Up North Ambassador. Up North Ambassadors, just like my assistant national coordinator said, is a support group that is present in all of the 19 northern states and the FCT. We have tried our best to build structures for structures of obedience across these 20 states, that is the 19 northern states and the FCT, across each of the 419 local governments in the north. We have tried also to recruit ward coordinators for every ward. I think over 4,800 wards in the north. We have also been able to get right now we are appointing polling unit agents, 5 each per polling unit across the north also. So we have really come a long way. We have tried, we have carried out so many projects, from community outreaches to medical outreaches like this, to community projects, to rallies and all of that, all across the north. Our major focus is the northern states, because for every state that we need 25%, we want to make sure that we get at least 30%. For every state that we can get up to 30%, we want to see how we can increase it to 35 or 40% and all of that. And the states that we can win in the north, we want to make sure we win it and win it very well. So, and to God be the glory. And so far, so good actually for us, because we have really achieved a lot during the course of these past 4 months that we have been in existence. We have been able to carry out projects across every one of these states. And in some states, we have carried out in more than 5 local governments, more than 7 local governments. In some states, we have carried out in just maybe like 2-3 local governments, because of the resources that we have. So because of limited resources, actually. So, and we believe in the Peter Obi's government. We believe in the Peter Obi's person, because we know that there is hope in him, there is life in him, and we know with him becoming our next president, with him becoming the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, there will be massive improvements in Nigeria, especially the north, because he has spoken times and times again, and every time he speaks, he always brings about the North and all of that. So we are sure that he has good plans for all Nigerians and the North. So if he's a friend of the North, we need to let the Northerners see it. So that is why we do these things. We relate personally with these people. We don't just go there and start. We want to know. We tend to know their problems and all of that before we start engaging them, so that you will not carry posters to people that need caps, and you will not carry caps to people that need posters. So when we are executing community projects, we will not go and bring borehole for people that have excess water. When there is a community that is very thirsty and a community that lacks school, we will not we will not take water to them, and instead of the school when they have water. So we check what these people actually want. We relate with them one-on-one. Then once we see, okay, this is the problem in the community, then we look for means to most times we do fundraisers from spaces from Twitter and carry out projects. You can check us up on Twitter at upnorth4peterobi or our website www.upnorth4ob.org. So we have been doing so much with what we have been doing, carrying out the gospel of Peter Obi, just because we believe in a new Nigeria. We believe in the government that Peter Obi is bringing for us. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much for that update. All right. We need donations. We have barely, I think it's 18 minutes to go. More donations, please. More donations, please. Those watching online, you can make comments and we are going to answer your questions. All right. Okay, so we have some people in the waiting room. I don't want to let them in because they seem to be people who we are able to get the Zoom link from my post on Twitter, and they want to bomb our meeting. So until they identify themselves properly and name themselves and the states they are coming from, then they will not be let in. They remain in the waiting room. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Oshegu Ebitomi, for that. Thank you, Kingsley and Lado, for introducing the project and some of the activities of the support groups. For Dr. Shegu, Doctors for P2B, which is the support group that is leading this initiative, and then Up North, Ambassadors for P2B, which is one of the support groups that will assist us in implementing this initiative, especially in the Southern Kaduna. We also have Eha-Amufu. I discussed with one of the affected persons. The person came to the clinic, so immediately the person said that he's from Eha-Amufu. So I got into a discussion with him to know the extent of the damage and what has been of them. And I was told that some of them have started returning, but they have actually been traumatized and they require any form of assistance. So we are going to see how much we raise and see how we can send them some relief material. There is a saying in the streets that half bread is better than no bread. So whatever we're able to raise, we are going to give it to those people in need. So please, let's make donations. Let's make donations. If we don't have any more donations, we need to bring this meeting to a close. Okay, so I'll just play a song for a minute. If we don't have more donations, then we'll bring the meeting to a close. All right.
Ana son ci gaban Najeriya a zaba Peter Obi.
Fún ìlọsíwájú orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà, dìbò fún Pétérù Obi.
Maka ọdịmma Naijiria, ka anyị tụnyere na Peter Obi.
Vote 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 Peter Obi.
I want better tomorrow. Me no want to load, no. That the person will be me. If you want better tomorrow, no go vote to load, no.
I am a let's go as you see me so at the front line, no.
At the front line,
But you want mine, no, make we unite, oh, do the right thing.
do the right thing. Situation don't they get a CV. My brother, sister, get your BBC. Make we unite, make we vote to Obi. Now my president, me, I want better tomorrow. Me no want to load, no. Not the person will be. Want better tomorrow. No go to load, no. If you don't want to be, it means say you don't want to be.
Me, I go what to Obi. Peter Obi. Say now you we want to.
We want to.
Now you we want
Ana son ci gaban Najeriya a zaba Peter Obi.
fún ìlọsíwájú orílẹ̀-èdè nàìjíríà dìbò fún pétérù òbí.
maka ọdịmma Naijiria ka anyị tụnyere na Peter Obi.
Peter Obi.
Vote Peter Obi.
Vote Peter Obi.
Vote Peter Obi.
Vote Peter Obi.
Record. Are you obedient? Are you obedient? We are obedient. Now my president, you think me, I want better tomorrow. Me no want to load, no. That the person will be me. If you want better tomorrow, no go vote to load, no.
I am a let's go as you see me so at the front line, no.
At the front line,
But you want mine, no, make we unite, oh, do the right thing.
do the right thing. Situation don't they get a CV. My brother, sister, get your BBC. Make we unite, make we vote to Obi. Now my president, you me, I want better tomorrow. Me no want to load, no. Not the person will be. Want better tomorrow. No go vote to load, no. If you don't want to be, it means say you don't want to be.
me, I go what to Obi. Peter Obi. Say now you we want to.
We want to.
Now you we
Ana son ci gaban Najeriya a zaba Peter Obi.
fún ìlọsíwájú orílẹ̀-èdè nàìjíríà dìbò fún pétérù òbí.
maka ọdịmma Naijiria ka anyị tụnyere na Peter Obi.
Peter Obi.
Vote Peter Obi.
Vote Peter Obi.
Vote Peter Obi.
Vote Peter Obi.
All right. In the absence of any other donations, I'm going to bring this meeting to a close. Kingsley, we are going to discuss on the WhatsApp page shortly so that we'll find out what we are going to do going forward.
All right.
So Shegu, thank you so much for joining in. Those of us that are on YouTube, Facebook, please, you can make your donations even at any other time. So let me just share the account details one more time. So in case you are just joining, you can see the account details, copy it out, make the transfer, send the evidence to myself or Dr. Shegu. You can send a Twitter message to @EdogaMD, that's EDOGAMD. Let me just share it now. It's showing on the screen. You can see Twitter @EdogaMD, or you can send it at Dr. Pitobi. All right. So thank you very much for coming online. Please, we're entering into a new year, 1st of January 2023, and all of us are going to working hard to see that a new Nigeria comes. And we believe and we are convinced that a new Nigeria can only come in the person of His Excellency Pitobi. All right, so thank you very much. Do have a wonderful 2 hours into New Year for those watching from Nigeria, for those watching from different parts of the world, whether you have already entered into 2023 or not. We wish you the very best and we hope to work with you. Remember, we are doing Sponsor Your World initiative. So that's it on the screen, Sponsor Your World initiative. So if you want to sponsor any local governments or clusters of wards, you can reach us and we can work it out for you. All right, thank you very much and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.